Peace. One of the hardest things to go through and try to overcome is the loss of a loved one. I remember 5 years ago when I got that call that my mother had just been murdered. It's when my whole life changed. It's one of those things where, you know the saying, here today, gone tomorrow. You can never prepare for death, especially when death comes to someone that you love, whether it be your parents or your brother or sister or your grandma or your grandfather or a good friend, etc. It's one of those things you could never prepare for. And when you lose somebody that's close to you, that's really close to you, it's one of the hardest things to overcome. But one of the reasons why it's so hard for us to accept not the death, but the transition of a loved one, there's a difference. Because when you think about somebody, when I think about death, I think about, like, we've been conditioned to think that death is a negative thing, and we've been conditioned to think that once our loved ones have moved on, that they are no longer here. So that's why I say transition, because when we make our transition, we leave our spirit and our soul transitions to another phase of existence. So we have, like, our loved ones are always with us. They're always with us. So that's why when my mother made her transition, I took the time to acknowledge her by creating like an altar space, and I still pray to her. I still have a connection with her. And that is an aspect of spirituality that has been taken out of us as a people. Our connection to our ancestors, our connection to our loved ones who have transitioned into the next life. They are always around us, and they are expecting us to acknowledge them in some way, whether it be through just giving offerings or saying their name or having pictures or just remembering all the good qualities that they had about them. It's important that we do that. We got to get out the mindset of thinking that death is a negative thing, and learn how to accept it, because it's a part of our life. It's a part of our reality. Also, we have, when grieving, we have to properly know how to grieve. A lot of times when we lose a loved one, it becomes extremely hard for us to accept that they are gone. So what we do, we get depressed. We drink alcohol. We do drugs. We look for love in all the wrong places, when in reality, we should be taking better care of self. For example, when my mother made her transition, I wanted to honor her at the highest level. So what did I do? I worked out harder. I ate better. I got deep into meditation. I wanted to educate myself, so I went to different organizations to build my understanding of self and the world around me. And that's what we have to do. Like, and when we lose our loved ones, that's a pain that will be with us forever. However, we learn to accept it, and we have to take the time to be grateful and show gratitude for our loved ones. We have to think about all the positivity that they left behind. I mean, because one thing you can't escape, like no one can escape death. Eventually, if you haven't experienced death in your life, you haven't had like a loved one or a parent, a child, or brother or sister um, taken away from you on the physical realm. If you haven't experienced that, eventually you will experience it, and you should learn how to accept it and not let it weigh you down, not let it cause you to self-destruct. I mean, this is like a healthy form of grieving, and having an understanding that more than likely you will be hurt for a long time, but that's okay. That's okay. That gives you the opportunity to work on that aspect of yourself. Give you the opportunity to heal yourself, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about healing yourself and becoming a better person. So so just stay strong. Keep fighting. Keep healing. Love yourself. Peace.